It's YouTube, babies. How you doing, man?
Good. That might have been the longest delay we've had.
Yeah, I hope the delay still stays on the video. So like when if someone watches, like some random person watches this, they're like, why are they just standing there like doing weird things with their hands?
For 10 whole
Yeah.
seconds.
But you do anything fun this weekend?
Uh, so this upcoming weekend, we're getting our cat. So this weekend was like
Nice.
a total declutter, deep clean, put together a couple new pieces of furniture, like bookshelves and stuff, just to like organize a little better. So that was pretty much it.
Right
And
on.
then uh, we picked up the new Zelda game and played a chunk of that.
All right, so I don't keep up with the Zeldas like I should. Is this that one where you get to build a bunch of shit and all that stuff too?
Yes, and you play
Okay.
as Zelda,
Okay.
which is fun.
Yeah. Finally, you get to play as the main character.
Yeah, no, right? Gotta save that damsel Link.
Yeah.
It's fun though. It's a good game.
Good. How would you rate it? Where does it fall in Jake's Zelda hierarchy?
Mm,
Because you're probably like one of the few people that, not few, but you're one of the people that has played all of them, even including the weird ones that are out there.
yeah. Um, I mean, so far, I've only done like 3 dungeons. So it's sitting at like an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
There's a couple of things that I think could be improved, just like the menus. But uh I think it could go up to a 9 by the end of it, depending on how the story plays out.
All right. What other ones would be at the 9 tier?
Um, 9 or better. I've got Twilight Princess, Ocarina and Majora's Mask, and the Oracle games for Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons on Game Boy. Those two as well.
Okay, are either of those the ones with the where like it would be the different colored costumes links? Or is that that's like four swords, isn't
That's
it?
Four Swords, yeah.
Okay.
That was
That
on
one
the Game Boy Advance.
okay, was that any good? 'Cause I always remember that being like pushed really hard when we were kids.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not in the upper tier. It's obviously more fun if you have a full team.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that makes sense.
Um, but yeah, it's come out at a good time because there's like it's kind of stale, this time of year as far as
Hmm.
game releases that I'm interested in. I'm sure the testing room boys are like, "What do you mean stale?" Because they play way more video games than I
Yeah.
do.
Not more
But
than me, but more
yeah,
than
of course, of course.
me.
So it'll be a good one to play, for the next month or two until the holiday release games come out, like the new Pokemon. And there's another one that I'm looking forward to, and I can't think of it right now.
Yeah. Homeless simulator on Steam.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, Preston texted me the trailer for this game that's coming out. I think by the end of the year, but it's like a Star Fox clone. Um, and that looks super fun if you like rail shooters like Star Fox style.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, man? What was your weekend like?
Well, so Saturday there was this 50-mile bike race. Me and my buddy Wukosh were gonna do in Charleston. It was called Tour de Charleston. Fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Wednesday I had gone for like a 10-mile bike ride. I was like, yeah, this is easy, great, I feel great. And then my bike was at my parents' house, and then I grabbed it. I'm taking it back home, get it all ready and stuff. And as I'm taking it, my back brake is sticking. And I hadn't noticed that hadn't happened. I was like, well, I'll fix it whenever I get home. Not a big deal. I put it on the bike rack and I'm driving. I'm like Googling just how to fix it as I'm driving. And I'm like, okay, this will be easy. Get home. I noticed my one of my spokes are broken too. So I'm like, well, I have plenty of extras. I'll put in a new one. And Lukash is on his way. He's about to my house, and I'm like taking stuff apart. And I noticed that like the bearings in the rim or in the, like in the middle of it are it's not very good to the point where like one of the ball bearings fell out. I'm like, I put it back in. You're not supposed to do that. And so then but I'm like, I don't care. It's like if I can get it just the last 50 miles, I'll be fine. And so I take it all apart. I'm trying to get the um spoke back in, and it's fighting me. And then I was like, well, I can't, 'cause I don't have the right tool to take one of the things off to get the spoke in on this side. So I'm like, shit. Oh well, I'll just ride at 50 with missing one spoke. It's not that big of a deal. And so then I'm putting it back together, and then now the fucking wheel just won't turn because when I like took that bearing apart, the fucking thing, like it was like the only thing keeping those ball bearings in place was the fact that stuff was in there. And then after that, it just kind of so it won't turn. And then I'd spin it the other way, and like the wheel was just like going this way I'm like, son of a bitch. So we didn't do the race, we just hung out.
Well, was that fun at least?
Yeah, it was a great time. It's always great seeing him, but yeah, it was just like we were both like, because I felt bad because he drove all the way from fucking Chicago suburb, but oh well.
Well, speaking of, you know, Tour de Charleston and fun names,
Hmm.
um, there's a park right by our place called Francis Park. So every year they have a Tour de Francis,
Oh, nice.
which works
How,
just a little bit better than Charleston.
yeah,
um, yeah, I haven't seen Luke in a while,
yeah,
a long while.
yeah. I'm hopefully, I can talk him into going to C2E2. He was going to be there last time we were there, but then his fiance Emily, she's very much into Golden Girls, and there was a Golden Girls convention the same
Oh yeah,
time.
I remember
Yeah,
that. I
they ended
remember
up
that.
winning like the best costume, and the picture of him is hilarious.
Nice. I love that for him.
Yeah.
Sure that that con experience was a lot better than buying a broke RoboCop.
Yeah, probably. He finally sold it, and I don't think he made the money back. Like he didn't. I don't think he broke even, but it was like close enough that he was fine with it.
Hmm.
But he's such not a collector anymore with stuff because like he's trying to sell his Batman stuff, and it's like he's like I can't get a good deal on it though, and so that's a whole thing.
Yeah. Well, welcome to being a collector.
Yeah. Oh man. Actually, I can't share this story because we're sworn to secrecy on it. And if he ever listened to the podcast, he'd be very upset. So I'll tell you after the podcast.
Okay, perfect.
I
All
can't
right.
tell. I will share one funny story that we brought up that we talked about. And this one was another one where it was like, we probably shouldn't talk about it. But it's,
Okay.
statute of limitations has happened, I'd say.
Yeah.
When we were in college, and you probably remember this story, we used to drop water balloons on people outside our apartment. And it was just fun. And then one time Chase got somebody. He was the third roommate that I was friends with. He got somebody with it, and they got really mad. They were fucking drunk, and they started just beating on our door and all that shit. And then like they ended up saying that like they kept trying to tell us like they were the security, and they're like pounding on the door. And then they like we heard a loud bang and we didn't hear anything else. And then we opened up the door, and they're like our door is cracked in the middle from them beating it so hard. And then they smashed a cut like something into the door itself. So like there was like a hole halfway through the door. And so then the next day I had class, and so Chase was like, okay, me and Brendan will go. The other roommate, like he was like, I don't want to go talk to the people that like the apartment people and blah blah blah. But he like we were like, dude, just fucking do it. You're an adult. Come on. And so so Brendan was like, so Chase and Brendan went and talked to him, and they actually had video of the dude like being pissed off in the elevator and then being hitting the door. And so then we're like, okay, there we go, we're good, you know. And so then we were just me and Chase were talking, and Chase was like, hey, we need to like we should probably go talk to this guy. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good idea because he's sober now. And oh,
Like he
first
lived
off,
in your
too,
building?
yeah, he was in the same building as us. And so Chase, after he dropped the water balloon, he was like, the dude's like, oh, come up there and kick your ass. And Chase was like, yeah, it's 406. We were 306. So just bear that in mind. And so then we walk over there, knock on the door, and then this one dude, he was like this chubby Greek guy who I'd always see in the hallway opens up and we're like, hey, is Marshall here or whatever the fuck the dude's name was. And he's like, yeah, hey Marshall, 5-0's here. And then he like walks away and then Marshall or whatever walks up to us and starts talking. He's like, hey, we're from this other thing and like Sammy told us you were just pounding on our door and like broke it. And he's like, oh, yeah, dude, I already talked to Sammy. I am so sorry. I was fucking drunk and some assholes were dropping stuff. And I hear, you hear stories about that shit. And it just really upset me. And the worst part is, it wasn't even you guys. It was the people fucking above you.
Did you guys play it cool or fess
Oh
up?
yeah. No, we were just like, yeah, man, no, dude, it's cool. Like shit happens. When you're drunk, you're not really thinking. He's like, it's still not okay. I'm like, don't worry about it. He's like, well, he's like, it's pretty cool though, because I'm gonna be able to help put the new door in, and Sammy, they won't charge me as much to do it. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then like it sucked because instead of buying a new door, Sammy just had extra like handicap doors. So our peephole, instead of being like eye height, it was wheelchair height. So like we could just see people's crotches when they knocked on the door.
Well, that's karma, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like whatever.
That's awesome.
But then anytime I'd see him like in the elevator or whatever, we would like always chat. But I was like, well, this is a weird way to have a new, not really friend, but a acquaintance.
Sure. Someone you're friendly with.
Yeah.
All right. So Monday Night Football.
Ooh.
So last week, uh, it was Jags and Bills, and then Commanders and Bengals. The
Yeah.
Bills ended up obliterating the Jags
Figured.
47-10.
Oof.
That's high for football.
Yeah.
And then the Commanders beat the Bengals. Apparently there was no defense this game. 38-33.
I mean, I think I said Bengals and the other ones. That's not the
The
Jags.
Bills, yeah.
Yeah.
So tonight, again, they're in the second half of each game. So I
Yeah.
see the scores. We've got the Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins.
I'm going Titans.
Okay.
Actually, no, no. Dolphins. Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are a good team, right?
Um, they were,
Okay. Just they're losing right now. I take it.
well, it's just their star quarterback has had a lot of concussion trouble
Oh, okay.
and he's not playing, so
They got Tim Tebow though, right?
no.
Damn.
And then we've got the Detroit Lions at the Seattle Seahawks.
I have a feeling it's gonna be the Seahawks, but I'm going Detroit.
Okay.
They were always my pick to win the Super Bowl. It was gonna be them versus the Browns. It's never
Well,
happened, surprisingly.
I mean, the Lions weren't that bad last year.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that bad this year either.
Yeah. And in the end, I heard your old Chicago Bears, they took a win.
They did. The first quarter was the same old Bears, but after that, they actually looked pretty good.
Are they going to be one of those teams, and this is like happens a lot in basketball, where it's like, yeah, when they get to the playoffs, it's really going to matter who they're matched up against? Is that how it's, because that's how it sounds from Facebook posts I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, dude, who knows? Like, they played the Rams. The Rams are pretty good. So
Yeah.
I thought for sure, I was like, this, you know, they're
Hmm.
gonna lose and I'm not gonna be surprised. But then they didn't. So, I mean, any team can play good and any team can play bad, you know?
Yeah.
The only time that it matters, I think, it matters when we play the Packers, because that's the rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it matters when we play Aaron Rodgers. So, if we're not playing one of those two teams, I think there's a fair shot.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the episode.
Alrighty.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Whistler to my blade, and that's an R.I.P. Chris Christopherson. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Did you hear about the Kimbe Matumbo also?
Yeah, I did. He's
Man,
only 58.
I was really hoping whenever whatever happened when like death showed up at his door, he would have been like, "Not today," and then blocked it, but didn't pan out that way.
No, damn shame, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's dropping these last couple of
Yeah.
weeks. Did you I know we've talked about this. What Blade movies have you seen?
I saw the first one, and I don't think I ever saw the second one, but I know for sure I've seen Blade Trinity a bunch because
Yeah.
it used to play on Stars like fucking all the time, and had Stars when I was growing up, so I was just like, well, guess I'm gonna watch Blade Trinity again.
Hey, there's worse movies you can watch on repeat.
Yeah.
All right. Um, yeah, let's get into the news.
All right, man. So
I'll
did
I'll
you?
do mine because
Okay.
mine's nothing, and then we can just go through all yours. Um, Batman got a Hollywood Star of Fame this week. He's the first superhero to do so, so that's pretty cool. I would have thought Superman would have gotten one first, but that's just me.
Yeah, I really thought Thunderstrike would get his done.
Yeah, long overdue.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
And that's all I got for you.
Yeah. So we'll just start talking about the Thunderbolts trailer. Did you watch it?
No, didn't
Well,
know that
never
that
mind. We
happened.
won't talk about it too much. But we got a new Thunderbolts trailer. Looks fun. Looks perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Like it might be pretty good.
I'll bring it up on another tab so I remember to watch it after
All right.
this.
All right, so now I'm just gonna go through some other stuff. Like we might be getting a RoboCop series on Amazon. It's moving like they said like in the article like it's moving along closer and slower. So we'll see if it actually happens. They've got a person writing the script and stuff, and I think Amazon's just trying to get in see if anything will work. But we'll see. Were you a RoboCop fan?
Not really, if I'm honest. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen RoboCop. Uh,
Yeah.
I didn't watch the that last movie. When did that come out? Has that been longer than I thought?
I think it was like when we were in college.
Okay, I didn't see that because that one had Michael Keaton in it, right?
Maybe? I don't know.
Okay, not as RoboCop, but he was like
Yeah.
in charge of the program or whatever.
See that I'm not gonna lie, that seems like a movie though, especially at that time that would have been right up your alley. Just a,
Yeah,
silly action movie.
no, I agree. I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah.
2014 is when it came out. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but this is one of those things where like if I hear that it's good from people, I would probably check it out. Otherwise, probably
Yeah.
not.
I was just never a RoboCop guy.
Yeah, it had Michael Keaton and Gary Oldman in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely surprised I didn't watch it because I was pretty much watching anything with Gary Oldman at that point.
Yeah. So we're gonna apparently it's in post-production and but the way it sounds like there's good stuff's been announced it's in post-production. It still might not happen, but we're supposed to be getting a Bane and Deathstroke movie.
Like
So
two separate movies or those
mm,
two together?
those two together is the way it sounds to me. Someone actually had a really funny tweet where it was like Deathstroke's got a hit on this 13-year-old, but he can't go to the middle school that he is at. So he has Bane, a non-sexual predator, go get it for him.
That's
Like that's pretty
funny.
funny. But like a lot of people think it's gonna start up like be the start of like a Secret Six movie, that type of thing. But who knows? I'd be surprised. Like this that it's kind of coming off as like when DC first started doing their own universe and they're like, we're doing these movies, and then none of them happened. I have a feeling it's gonna be similar to that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, would I watch a Bane and Deathstroke movie? Of course,
Hmm.
but I just don't think that that's a thing. Like
No.
who's calling for that?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's like an hour long or hour and a half long, I guess, max special thing, that could work. But as
I
an
think they'd
actual,
probably work better, honestly.
yeah, but as an actual movie that's getting a wide release, no way. I don't
Yeah.
see that working at all. All right, and then Hellboy: The Crooked Man will no longer go to theaters, and instead it's going to hit streamers on October 8th. Where I saw that, it didn't say what streamers, so who knows? But I'd still check it out for sure, even if I do have to pay, because like with that being just straight up that way, it'd probably be more apt. We're gonna have to pay for it, but maybe they'll still be good. Though
Yeah.
we haven't seen hardly shit for it, like trailer wise.
Just the one trailer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What sucks is like this will be the one that's really good,
Hmm.
and everyone will be like more, 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 and they just won't do it. Like
Well,
Dread.
yeah, I mean, this one it doesn't have a huge budget. That's one of the plus sides. So like if enough people buy it and it gets us, they'll make their money back, and probably if they make their money back, they'll be like, well, we can do more at this small of a budget type of thing. Or we'll be like, we'll half your budget and then you can make another one for us. And then they'll be like, what?
Yeah,
I barely did this.
I do want to watch it though. I think
Yeah.
it'll be cool.
All right. And then since it just seems like I always be talking about this every week, more Green Lantern news. Damon Idris was the front runner for Jon Stewart. And then like shortly after I read that, it's like he is no longer in the running. And then Aaron Pierre and Stephen James are now in the running also to play Jon Stewart. And it's I just looking at them, neither of them look like Jon Stewart to me. Like they could play an architect for sure, but I don't think they could play Marines.
Aaron Aaron Pierre just looks like a model.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like someone that could play an architect in a movie, though.
Yeah,
If this was a romantic comedy, the main character was an architect, it would be like, yeah, that makes sense, an architect engineer type guy. But then if you're like, this guy he served in the military, you'd be like, what military? The beautiful military? That's not a thing. But that's my news. Who would you want to be old Johnny Stew?
well, the ship's done sail, but you already know the answer.
Sammy J?
You know,
Who? John
Idris
Stewart?
Elba.
Oh yeah. Idris Elba. Just think about the dude they got to play Hal Jordan and Idris Elba. That'd be pretty sweet.
Hmm. I
And
know.
they're probably close to the same age. I really don't know how old Idris Elba is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Probably in his 50s, right?
I think so.
He is 52.
Yeah, so that would be perfect. He's slightly younger.
And he's awesome. That's the
Yeah.
most important part.
And if I think like, you know, Samuel Jackson, Jurassic Park era would have been a really good choice.
Yeah. And he would have done it. He does
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, he really does. Like, we're working it out to get him on the podcast. That's how much he just does everything.
Well, so like the more I hear about him, the more I like him. It's like he's a huge anime guy, and
Hmm.
then I guess it's in his contract that he can play golf like 2 times a week whenever he wants, no questions asked.
Nice.
I'm like, man, he and I would get along, I think.
Yeah. Dude, I saw an interview where, so he does, I think, I don't know what credit card, but he does a credit card commercial, and then Forrest Whitaker did a credit card commercial.
Capital One, I think.
Okay, but then like the person interviewing was like, so yeah, you do the Capital One, right? And then he's like, that's Forrest Whitaker. You think we all just look the same?
Oh, that's
The
fantastic.
dude's like, oh, and then like the same thing when like Django came out, the guy with like this went, did you see this interview where like someone was like, they say the N word a lot in this movie, and he's just like, say it. And he's like, what? If you do not go inward, you just gotta say it. If you want to talk to me, ask me questions about it. He's like, I'm not comfortable with that. Why? It's like, I'm just not. And he's like, okay, well, then ask a different question.
Oh man. That I guess it I know we've talked about it before, but there was that one like fake interview where someone else was like, say it. It might have been like a sports guy, you know what I'm talking about? It was like a big,
Maybe.
it was going around the internet forever. But it was a black gentleman and the
Yeah.
N-word came up and he was just like, no, come on, say it. And
Yeah.
it's just funny to watch everyone just kind of melt.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I read this week Saga number 69, a great cover to go
Yeah.
along with that issue number. Wolverine Revenge number 2, Uncanny X-Men number 3, Satana Bring Down the House number 4, Frankenstein number 2, Green Arrow 16, Phases of the Moon Knight 2, and Thundercats number 8.
No Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween.
I have it. I did not get to it. It's sitting
I
over
gotcha.
there.
Yeah, I forgot to do Uncanny X-Men like a silly little boy. All
Damn it.
right. I know.
You're supposed to be a professional.
I know. Well, we don't get paid enough for this.
As a matter
Uh,
of fact, we lose money.
All right. So Daredevil number 3, Woman Without Fear. Lobo number 1, the cancellation special. Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween. Frankenstein number 2. Zatanna Bring Down the House, issue 4. Wolverine Revenge number 2. And Saga 69.
Nice. Do I have more?
I think you had one more, so I'll let you go first.
Okay. Thundercats number 8 by Declan Shalvey and Drew Moss. It was fine. They're building the Thundercats base, and then um, Tigra is doing a little bit of. He has like a room built where there's portals, so he's kind of jumping around through time a little bit, and while he's doing that, he fights a mysterious figure that can also jump through time portals. And yeah, that's kind of this whole issue. Just like, oh no, a new villain. And yeah, that's it. It was pretty neat, kind of fillery a little bit, except for the setup for the new villain. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Right on. All right, so Daredevil, Woman Without Fear by Erica Schultz and Michael Dowling and Ivan Fiorelli. So, Silvermane and I don't know this other dude's name, blanking on it now. Um, but they're him and the two of them are, you know, talking and shit, and uh Daredevil shows up and they're mad because she's got their guy dead, but Punisher killed him last time, and so she's fighting all of them. The fight's pretty sweet, and we find it cuts to the missing girl every once in a while, and then it cuts back to the fighting and stuff. And like I said, fights are pretty great in this. Daredevil's really cool in it. And then they're like, "Yeah, we'll tell you where the little brat is, but you have to find us, um, you have to bring us that fake Punisher." And then we meet like the power broker shows up. She's talking to him about where the Punisher could be, and so then she's gonna fight Punisher, and then it's revealed like, oh, the girl was able to get a phone, and she's telling her where she's at, and so, but then Punisher's like, I'm gonna shoot you anyway, and it was good. Like, I really just don't have much interest in the new Punisher at all, but Elektra's awesome. The fights were awesome. The art was good. So yeah, it's still a solid book. I'm still gonna go with probably 8 out of 10.
All right. Not bad.
Yeah.
Phases of the Moon Knight, #2. There's two stories in it. The first one's by Jed MacKay and Jorge Fornes, and the second one's by Declan Shalvey and Eder Messias. I really, really like the artwork in the first one.
Ooh, I do like that.
It's just really good stuff. And let me show you the title page too, because it's cool.
Oh, I like that. I love when they do that shit.
Yeah. So very killer art. Story was neat. He runs into like an old vigilante from the 20s that's like still around through various means. Um, but this is obviously some sort of callback to early Moon Knight because McKay signs it off as a to Doug Mensch and Bill Sienkiewicz with respect and admiration. So I think this was like an issue that Jed McKay really liked by those two and wanted to continue it.
Yeah.
So it was pretty neat. And the second one's cool too. It's like far future Moon Knight. So he fights like some robots and shit, but costume's pretty neat. Art is also good, just not quite as good as that first series or the first story. So yeah, overall, probably an 8 or an 8.5. It was really good.
Right on. Okay, so next up it's Lobo, the cancellation special, and it's by Kyle Starks and Kyle Hotz. And first I'll say, I don't know if this is the same art that did like the old Lobo comics, but it's very much the same stuff. And it's like nor in a normal book, I wouldn't be like super hot on that type of stuff, but in a Lobo book, it works.
Kyle Hotz did that Man Bat mini that I really
Oh,
liked.
okay. And was it similar style where like the body
Mhm.
proportions aren't okay?
Yeah, but
And
that works for Man Bat.
it does, yeah. No, I agree. And so yeah, Lobo does a bunch of stuff, and like there's this one guy that stole his stuff at the beginning, had it left him abandoned, so he found that guy first, and then he was gonna go kill him, and the dude could like just snap, basically would be able to do any, say whatever and snap his fingers, and Lobo would do it. So he like stabs himself a bunch, he lights himself on fire, and Lobo realizes he's getting brainwashed, so he just starts smashing his head against the wall to the point where he was so concussed that he couldn't be brainwashed anymore. And then he just killed the guy. I'm like, this is really funny. I'm really liking this. And then like he gets to where he needs to do the job that he's got to do, and he finally gets to that, and I'm like, it just kind of dragged. Like that's like the one downside. It's like, yeah, there's a lot going on. It would have been kind of cool as like a 3-issue miniseries versus a an exercise one shot. I probably would have enjoyed it more. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the art works really well with this. The story itself, I'm like, it went a little long.
Right.
So I'm gonna probably go a 6 out of 10.
Okay. Green Arrow 16. It's by Joshua Williamson and Aman K. Noelpan and Sean Izaksi. We need to figure out how to pronounce that sooner than later, even though it's been like 2 years. Um, Art is so fucking good in this book, but it's just more absolute power stuff. Um, like the whole Green Arrow family comes here and confronts Ollie, and then Ollie just has them all arrested. And then Zatanna brings Black Canary and Dr. Light. I don't know why Dr. Light's there. In from the Shadow Road so that maybe Canary can talk some sense into him. But all he does is trip the intruder alarm and tells her to leave. And then she does. And then Waller shows up and says something that has to do with absolute power. And that's pretty much it. So, like, yeah, I mean, it was okay. It was just weak for a tie-in issue compared to the other two that I liked quite a bit. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
I know it's I know it had to have been the Lady Dr. Light since we saw her in Superman, but how funny would it have been for like, hey, known rapist, Dr. Light, go talk to Ollie for
Talk
us.
some sense into
Yeah.
him.
It's like mentally damaged rapist, Dr. Light. You're the only one that can talk some sense into him.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween by Jeff Loeb with Eduardo Risso and Dave Stewart. Dave Stewart just does the colors, but they're really good. And Eduardo Risso does a really good job of making his style look Tim Saley.
Yeah, I knew he would kill it on this book.
Yeah. It's like it's got me sad because like that he doesn't that he's not going to be doing more because he did such a good job of like making it his own, but also keeping stuff of Tim Sales, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of The Long Halloween, and this feels the same. It feels like a good, continuation of this story. I think they could have come up with a better name. But
One
really,
not so long.
I really loved it. And I'm gonna say this, I'm excited for the complete Long Halloween that will be the size of a fucking like book that you read. Because I really like this first issue. I hope it stays this good. I'm going 10 out of 10, and it's my pick of the week.
Damn, Jackie.
Like the
I'll
art's
have to
really
check it
good.
out.
I didn't have high expectations for it too, so that really helped because the last Jeff Loeb book that I got really excited about was Captain America White. So so
Yeah. Um, just our Mutuals question mark? Did you do
Yeah.
Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think you read Frankenstein in the first issue, so I was
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
I
What
think
order
it
you want to
came
do these
out
in?
whenever we did the Garrett episode.
Yeah.
I've got Frankenstein. Oh, wait, you didn't read Uncanny.
Yeah, I
Let me do
fucking
that real
forgot that one.
quick. But we'll do Frankenstein, Zatanna, Wolverine Saga.
Oh, I got it set up.
All right, Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone and David Marquez. Yeah, David Marquez. Uh, this will be tough for you to believe, Casey, but the art's fucking killer in this book.
I bet.
Um, yeah, it's just, well, I don't want to say too much because you're gonna want to read this, but it's a lot of training with the kids and then a lot of stuff with Wolverine and like the back half of it. So some of the kids have some pretty cool powers, and we do get a little more backstory on each member. But like the Ghost Boy, I don't remember his name. He just seems OP if I'm honest. And I just want to know like the full extent of his powers or what the limitations are, because man, he's really strong in this issue.
Yeah.
So
which makes it even more annoying what happened in the other issue when it's just like all this death, and then Wolverine's just like, okay, and then the kid's just beaten up off panel.
Yeah, exactly. So, but great cover with
Nice.
Nightcrawler on it. He's a big part of the issue as well and training the kids. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I liked it a lot. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Nice, buddy.
All right, Frankenstein.
Yeah. So Frankenstein by Michael Walsh and Tony Marie Griffin on the art. I like this more than the first issue. Well, I'm gonna start off
Not
by saying
not
that.
to not to do this, but Griffin was just the colorist. Michael
Oh,
Walsh
sorry,
did
sorry.
the writing and
Yeah,
the art.
sorry, buddy.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine. Apologize to Michael Walsh.
No, he knows what he did, but but no, I like. What'd you think of this issue, and did you like it more than the last issue? Since we're gonna talk about the last issue.
I don't think I did like it as much as the last issue. I thought the first issue was really good. Um, but this was fine. Like I still enjoyed it. Uh, there just wasn't a ton of Frankenstein stuff until towards the end. So, um, but that being said, I still like it a lot more than I liked Creature. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with it overall.
yeah. I mean, it's neat, like because like the last issue we had the kid as kind of like the focal point. This one we get Fritz as the focal point. I thought that was cool, and I just thought that was a little bit more interesting. And then the monster attacking him and stuff, and like the art's super cool. And yeah, dude, I don't know. The like I said, I wasn't super hot on the last one, just mostly because the I didn't care that much about the kid. I didn't find him that interesting to be, reading.
Sure.
But yeah, I think I have a feeling the next issue will probably be through either the fiance's perspective or Frankenstein, or the actual Frankenstein, not the monster.
Right. It looks like it's leading into some bride stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm all for it. I'm probably at an 8.5. What about you?
I think a 7.
Yeah.
Okay, Zatanna bringing down the house. Number 4 by Mariko Tamaki and Javier Rodriguez. Um, yeah, I mean, I think this book is okay, but
The art helps a lot.
the art, I think the art's everything. I think the art
Yeah.
completely carries this book.
hmm
Um, the story, like, I just don't know what's happening, man.
No.
Like, I get the overall, like, her dad is potentially back as like a demon, and
Yeah.
this order of magicians that she found and made fun of is like trying to stop that. And I guess, you know, Constantine gave her such a good wienering that she's like, oh yeah, I guess I should be helping out with this now.
But I will say, this is the joke that I've been wanting to say since I've read this book. This Tamaki's version of Constantine's not Constantine, it's Constantine.
Yeah, dude. For real. For real. He's just he's just not a dick.
No, he's not Constantine and she's not Zatanna really. It's just that this is like a neat magic book that has nothing to do with the characters that are in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like my problem is like they're just like, yeah, it's probably Zatara that you caused problems with back when you were a kid. That's a demon that's doing this stuff now. That's their theory. And it's like, sounds about right. Like that was basically it.
Yeah.
And then Zatanna's like, well, I guess magic is sexually transmitted because I know magic again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. It's a bummer because like
Yeah,
this
it's awesome.
is so good, and all the art is, but yeah, I don't know. I just like I'm in a cycle. An issue comes out, I'm excited for Zatanna, then I read it and I lose interest until
Yeah.
it comes out the next month and I'm like, oh yeah, Zatanna, this one will be better. And it's
I
not bad, it's just not good.
I have a feeling this next issue's gonna be awesome just because of the art. Because like we were talking about off of here, the art in the last issue where like got to do weird stuff, it was very Ditko-y, it was very cool, it was very all over the place. And it's like since Tamaki's just kind of writing characters how she wants, that won't matter. The plot's not gonna matter. The art's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Man, it's so weird with Tamaki because I used to be like, because I read her She-Hulk and I was like, yeah, she's awesome because she had a because She-Hulk had a reason to be like to basically be acting like how Tamaki is apparently, because then that's how she's written everybody since then. So it's like, oh, okay, I guess like at least with the She-Hulk that she wrote, it was like, oh yeah, She-Hulk was coming over, being in a put in a coma and being like worried about that and all that type of stuff, but every character since then. It's been the same shit.
Yeah. It is such a bummer. I
Yeah.
just I wanted this to be so good. And I have a feeling, because like I hear from customers, everyone kind of feels the same way that this isn't gonna sell super hot unless you're just a
hmm
diehard Zatanna fan, and then DC's gonna be like, oh, I guess the people don't want Zatanna.
I think the only other way it could sell really well is the cosplayers. Like
Yeah.
if you were like if you had like a group of cosplayers that just came and be like, guys, look at this one. And they're like, dude, I have so many new fun costume ideas for my Satana stuff.
Yeah, for real. Uh, yeah, man, I'm probably the five, and the five is all because of the art.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. It's like, and I would be curious if I would like it more if it wasn't a Zatanna and Constantine book.
Hmm.
If it was like just, Splip Splap and Missap, the two magic characters that Tamaki originally made, maybe I'd like them more, but,
Yeah.
it is what it is. All right, Wolverine Revenge by Jonathan Hickman and Greg Capullo on the art. Love the art.
Yeah, it was good.
Uh, stuff with Forge was pretty neat too, and it's always fun seeing him. And then, yeah, we get some fighting.
Yeah, I do like him going on these little missions to get an item to help him fight the next boss, like in Mega
Yeah,
Man. Because
yeah.
like the Magneto helmet was cool. It's goofy. It's like dumb, but it's
hmm
fun.
Right. It's like one of those things where I'm like, is this really Hickman writing this?
Right.
Because it does not seem like a Hickman book.
The the only part that I was like, okay, this is just dumb was the headlamp thing.
Oh yeah.
It's like, man, that's that's a bit of a reach.
Yeah. But still Capula drawing Sabretooth and Wolverine killing each other. Pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, for sure. Um,
But since we didn't get Deadpool this time, it was a much better written book. Since last time it was like Hickman had never read a Deadpool book before in his life, it seemed like, or seen the
yeah,
movies.
true. But and like I think the dialogue with Fury was good, and I think the dialogue
hmm
with Sabretooth was really good too.
Yeah, it was just like I'm saying, it's like it was all written really well since there was no Deadpool.
Yeah.
So where are you at with it?
Um, Probably an eight.
Yeah, I'm feeling a seven. I like it, but it is pretty silly.
Yeah. All right. And our final book is Saga Chapter 69 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan. And I like this, I think, a little bit more than like the last issue.
Hmm.
Just like a lot happened in this book.
Yeah. They said like it's my problem. Like this is like my main problem with Saga. I love Saga so much. Been here since the beginning. But it's like they're setting up all this more stuff. And then it's like, well, I'm not going to grade it on this, but this is just something that annoys me. It's like, well, maybe one of these things will be done with before the next fucking hiatus.
Maybe. Like I forgot that that the Will and what's her name were like heroin addicts now.
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh shit, that's like a thing that's happening right now.
Hmm.
Um, but man, it's good. Like we haven't seen Alana talk to Squire in this capacity before. It's like, dang, I didn't even know Alana felt that strongly about him.
Yeah.
Um, so little stuff like that that I wish would have been hinted at before now. But yeah, I was just we just get these characters that I'm sure we've seen once 40 issues ago
Hmm.
that are coming back into play, and it's like, man, without the two hiatuses, I would probably remember who this was, but I just don't. So whenever, you know, whenever they show up and then someone comes in there to kill them, it's just like, oh, this probably would have hit harder like 2 years ago.
Yeah. It was like the um oh, is it Gwen? The Wills that used to be Marco.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Gwendolyn. Yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
her old um lover, like they show up, I'm like, who is that? Because that's like exactly like you were saying. It's like because that character like really was never a focal point,
No?
you know? So it's like, oh yeah, we haven't seen her in about 2 years, and it's been however many years in this universe's time where she's aged, and all that stuff. So it's like, boy, this is just it's like maybe this is gonna be better collected.
Yeah. And that sucks to say, especially because I think that they've said that there's not going to be another hiatus for a little bit. So it's like, if that's true, in like three more issues, we're going to be like, oh, this is a masterpiece all over again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Anyway,
But I
uh,
will say, 3.99 for this book is pretty fucking sweet.
yeah, it's still a damn good book. I'm still giving it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, but Uncanny was my pick of the week. I didn't say it
Okay.
earlier.
All right. Yeah, I'm at a 9 for this too. It's like I would like it's one of those things where like I'm not really knocking it for that, but it is really freaking annoying as a fan.
Yeah,
But hey man, what are you excited for?
I'm excited for. Let's go with Birds of Prey, X-Men, and I mean the real answer is Daredevil, but I'll say the All-In special just to see what that's all about.
Not Sesame Street number two.
No, hey, that sold out that first
I'm
issue.
I mean like honestly, because I know you're a Sesame, you like Sesame Street. Okay, I know you're more of a Muppets boy.
Yeah,
But I'm still like, I wouldn't have been surprised if you read the first issue.
yeah. I mean this it sold out because everybody was like, "Oh, this is going to be great for my small child," because
Yeah,
it's definitely written for
I
like a
gotcha.
super young audience.
All right. So for me, I'm gonna say I'm excited for Daredevil. Um, God, I shouldn't. I'm gonna guess. I'm going double Godzilla. I'm gonna say Godzilla Skate or Die, and then I shouldn't be excited about this because I have a feeling it's gonna suck. But Godzilla Rivals Mechagodzilla versus King Ghidorah. I want that to be so good.
Yeah.
All right. So I was this came to mind after last week when you were talking about Green Arrow and the Joker combining to make Viceroy. And I'm like, boy, that would be the worst fucking combination though. The archer who laughs. So like, why don't you give me four combo characters that you would just fucking hate to see, and they can't all be Joker combined with someone else.
Yeah. Um, I mean, at this point, I would say I'm over the Batman crossovers with
Hmm.
Metal. Like when Metal first came out, I was like, oh, that evil Justice League's fucking dope. And they still are. The character designs are amazing, but I don't want to see anything else.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. Oh, the same with Iron Man. Any iron suits that are, you know, loosely designed off of another Marvel character. It's like it's just kind of lame at this point. And I realize that neither of these are very specific, which is what you're looking for, but I didn't look ahead at this, so
This one has
um
been there for like a week, too. Like normally I do it the day of, but
it's true. Yeah, I don't know. Feel free to throw some out there.
all right, so I'm gonna go with Deadpool and anybody. Like we don't need another Gwenpool.
Mm-hmm.
Go like let's just say Deadpool and Iron Man. That seems like one that should have happened at one point.
Yeah. Iron Pool.
Yeah. Man, that'd be terrible. Holy shit. Um, and then let's go with like I think a Deathstroke combo with like Harley Quinn. That'd be like pretty rough ski.
Ugh. Yeah. Harley's nearly as bad as Joker as far as
Yeah.
shit like that.
And then I'm gonna go Amanda because so one of the things that I hate about this whole what a like absolute power thing is it's the same shit that I hated with the Batman who laughs. It's like Amanda Waller and then a punchline where it's like, I've had everything planned out already. It's like, oh, we got this thing that's gonna help us. Like, huh, you thought that was gonna work, but I was already two steps ahead of you. I hate that shit. It's so dumb. And so punchline and Amanda Waller to make wall line.
Oh, wall line.
And then I'm gonna go with let's think of like another. Let's go because this would be the worst because they would hate themselves, but Magneto and Red Skull.
Magneto and Red Skull. Yeah.
It's
I'm
just a
very surprised that that's not a thing.
it'd be a self-hating Jew Nazi.
All right.
You got any more?
Not really. Not really.
Well, damn, man. Let us know down below if you guys are disappointed in Jake for not having any more.
Look, whoever comments yes, know that you're not more disappointed than I am in myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna text your mom and tell her to go over there and beat you.
She'll gladly do it.
I know. She's like, I already planned on it, so this is perfect.
I'm literally on the way right now.
She's like, I should have brought my studded belt instead of the normal one.
All right. Well, dude, anything to add before the sign off?
Oh, let us know about some combo characters that you would hate. And I don't know, tell us about the best sandwich you've ever had.
Ooh, I fucking love me a sandwich.
Yeah, me too, man. I, have you ever had prosciutto, by the way? This is just off subject. Let us know down below if you guys like prosciutto.
Yeah, but I'm stupid and it's like an inside joke with my wife. We call it Priscuti.
Oh, nice. My wife.
My wife. So yeah, anytime we have it, we're eating Priscuti, but it is very
Nice.
tasty.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if you've seen them since you're an Aldi boy too. They have like a meat tray where it's like just deli meats wrapped in or like wrapped around mozzarella.
Hmm.
And so like the prosciutto one is so fucking good. Like
Yeah,
the salami and the pepperoni, I'm like, ah, these are okay because the mozzarella doesn't have much flavor. But that prosciutto,
dude,
mazza
it's
bene.
yeah. Uh-huh. The just to give you an answer for my favorite sandwich. Actually, I've taken you there, Casey. We've had it. It's this little place. Any St. Louis people, if you're from here, you already fucking know because you're all psychos like this. But it's from LeGrand's, and I always get the Tomboy. It's the best sandwich on the menu.
Yes.
But yeah, good stuff, man. What's your favorite sandwich?
Right now, I've been making a sandwich where I take two pieces of like first I butter my bread, of course, because and then I put some pepper jack on there, and then I have some just regular old chicken lunch meat that I toss on. Then I'm like, I need the whole chicken, even their kids, and I have two eggs on there, and then put it all together.
Like
Really
hard
fucking
boiled?
good. Huh?
Hard boiled?
Uh, I try to go about over hard, but sometimes it's like a little over medium, so like there is a little bit of a going out, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the only problem with the egg.
Yeah, I really fuck with egg on well, burgers specifically,
Yeah.
but just sandwiches in general. Good shit. I
Yeah.
fucking love me a sandwich.
Dude, me and I don't remember the name of the place, but it was like all heavy metal themed. There was this place in Chicago, and I went like 2 years ago at this point, where hang out with Luke and Chase. There was a burger place Chase wanted to eat at, and it was like I got the chicken and waffles burger, and so did Chase. And it was like the toppings were awesome. The burger itself was just like a bland slab of meat. I'm like, this is like this is kind of shitty for $20.
Gosh, dude, that sucks.
Yeah.
Just fucking, just salt your fucking burgers, people. Just
Yeah.
salt it.
Yeah.
Some pepper. You're good to
Yeah.
go. Speaking of pepper jack, though, if I'm ever at a place ordering a sandwich and they're like, "What kind of cheese do you want?" and pepper jack is an option, that's what I'm going with.
So good.
I fucking love pepper jack
Yeah.
cheese.
The only downside to pepper jack, and even this is still like it's so good, is like it doesn't get as melty as like if you had a nice American,
Mm-hmm.
but I still get a pretty good cheese pull from my sandwich. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, well, there you go, folks.
yeah,
We love talking sandwiches,
we really
sandwiches and
do.
comics. All right, well, we'd love to stay and chat, but we have to figure out a cure for Casey so he doesn't turn into a vampire. So we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye guys.
Thank you for listening to the Two Worlds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod, on Twitter at two_worlds_PC, and on Facebook at facebook.com/twoworldspodcast. You can email us with any questions or comments at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.